It's been a long time since I've seen you, and I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance once again. Miss Gwendoline. She looks a bit lonely in there. Now, just for those of you who perhaps have just joined us, when she was first found, and I think it is Tristan that found her in here first, she was quite badly injured. Nasty cut on her right front shoulder, much in the way of biting on her withers or shoulders, her right front elbow. Then on her shoulders she had some nasty bites, which were a bit older, I think. And I wonder if, because she's so low ranking, she hasn't perhaps had a sort of contretemps with the slightly more high-ranking females, and that's why she's come in here, and she's just seeking refuge in a hole there. But this is unusual, to find a fully grown adult hyena inside a hole like that, unless she's got youngsters that she's actually suckling now. That's very unusual. So every day I think we must come past here and just have a little sit for a while and see what comes out. She might come out. She doesn't seem to be cleaning anything other than herself in there. Sherilyn, no, you would expect this to be the case, certainly if you'd known about wild dogs, but you say, since she is low ranking, was it more difficult for her to mate and fall pregnant? No, it isn't. As soon as any female in the clan falls into estrus, they will be mated. The chances of her raising her cubs, however, successfully are definitely reduced. And that's just because all food opportunities will be monopolized by more dominant members of the clan. This is not a big clan, though, so I mean, as far as the pecking order goes, she's probably, I don't know, maybe 7th or so. But her cubs will inherit that, and of course as cubs get born to higher ranking females, so her sort of status will continue to drop. She's also not a youngster anymore. You can see her teeth are relatively blunt from years of bone-crushing work, literally bone-crushing work. But you know, even though we learned so very much about these hyenas last year, spending so much time with them, yet again we're struck by, you know, very unusual behavior. An adult hyena inside the den hole, which is not common. In fact, it's very uncommon. And I just wonder if there aren't 2 very small ones in there. Or maybe 1 very small one. Because the others, which are now 8 months old, Jamie reckons, which makes complete sense, are round about the age where they'll start foraging for themselves, especially if they're male. But they will still suckle, you see, probably for up to a year. I rather wish we had a very much more sensitive microphone. Now, Nevin, this is another great postulation, and of course this is the fun of sitting here and discussing these things. We don't know for sure, but you say, is it possible she's been kicked out of the clan? Nevin, I imagine it's possible. I can't imagine a reason for it, though. I don't really, you know, unless the clan had got very big. Now, we don't know what's happened in the, how many months? 8 months or so that we've been missing them. Perhaps there's been a great influx of new young cubs. Perhaps the clan has expanded to the extent that this low-ranking female was tossed out. I think it's very unlikely. I think, personally, my guess, and I mean it might be way off, is that she's come to give birth. That is when low-ranking females leave the clan. They come and give birth on their own so that they can be away from the clan. And I think that's what she's doing. But I might be entirely wrong. Listen, listen, she's talking. She went, oh. Now, who would she be talking to? It's possible that her two bigger cubs are in there, I suppose. It's all rather interesting. I think we're going to sit here another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll press on to see what else we can find. There's something in there with her. I'm slightly confused. We're going across to Jamie. That doesn't confuse me, but she's got something that sounds like bools. I don't know what bools are. Enjoy. Interestingly, yes, it would digest its food properly, but that hair and bone are the two things that it would seem there is no mammal that can digest. I might be wrong there, but that's certainly my experience out here. Keratin in hooves and hair, indigestible even to hyenas, which says something about how powerful that chemical is, or how indigestible it is. Now, she has not done anything other than what she's just done there. She's looked up once or twice, chased the odd fly. You can see huge numbers of puncture marks all over the back of her head there. So it could well be that she's just in this area to do some rest and relaxation. Larry, I don't know, and many of you are asking, could this reclusiveness be an indicator that she's sort of sick and perhaps preparing to die almost? I don't think so, no. These animals tend to go down hard. They don't tend to... Leopards will sort of exclude themselves, yes, but leopards exclude themselves generally from life. And I don't think a hyena would do that. If she was feeling rough, I think she'd much more likely lie down next to some water. That's what they generally do if they're injured or they're not feeling so good. To go and find a hole like this is typical denning behavior. I don't think that there's any other way that we can interpret what she's doing here. Now, whether it's for her cubs from the last litter or whether she's got new ones, I think that's the debate. Is it impossible that she's in there because she's injured just for some R&R? No, it's not impossible. I'm not sure that she's close to death either. I mean, she's in very good nick muscular-wise. I mean, she's got lots of muscle on her. She just has been bitten and chewed on by the rest of her friends. But she really hasn't done a great deal, so we'll give her another 5 minutes or so. And then I think we'll press on. Very pretty example of Chloris roxburghiana there. That's the feathered chloris, the grass waving gently in front of her face. And just to keep you posted, Brent is still with the dogs, but he's got no signal. I'm not sure where they are. By now they must be close to, I imagine, sort of Nelspruit. She's just having a very pleasant snooze in there. I must say, it looks very comfortable. And you know how many times we've walked past this den thinking, I wonder, and come to that hole and kind of put our heads into it. Imagine putting your head in and finding that in there. That would be very distressing. She'd come out rather fast, I think. All right, well, as she falls asleep, I think we're going to press on. We're not far from Chitwa. We'll nip down to the dam there, and if there's nothing there, we'll knock about and see if we can't find Tundi. Is it true that they're more related to cats than dogs? Yes, they are. That is true. I would like to try and sort of draw you a cladogram, but I'm not going to do that here because I'd have to do it in the sand, and if I got out of the car, she'd be upset. Basically, you have the order Carnivora, right? That's the order that they all belong to. Do you like my jewellery? It was made for me by Rexon yesterday. Isn't it nice? Yes, very nice. That is not an advertisement. You cannot buy this at royaljewellery.wildearth.tv. So you've got the order Carnivora, into which all the carnivores go, and then you've got a number of different families. You've got the cat family, you've got the dog you've got the cat line, and then you've got the dog line that go down, and those two, they're sort of sub-orders, and into the cats go, or into the cat line go the cats, the hyenas, the mongoose, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. And then into the dog line go the canids, which are the dogs, and the mustelids, which are the badgers and that sort of thing. So they're actually more closely related to things like mongoose than they are to animals like cats or to dogs. But they're quite a long way distantly related to dogs. So yes, they are technically more closely related to cats than they are to dogs. All right, let's move on from here. Goodbye, Gwendoline. Have a lovely day. I hope you feel a little more sprightly a bit later.